Get a little more out of watching NBA games with Daily Fantasy. Every LeBron James drive, Jokic rebound, or Steph Curry game winner means so much more when you're playing with DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports. Download the top-rated DraftKings app now and use promo code TBPN when you sign up to get your free shot at up to $10,000 in total prizes every day of the basketball playoffs. Head to DraftKings Pools page to get your shot at huge cash prizes. That's promo code TBPN for a limited time only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for full details.
Man, the NBA draft just happened, Team USA bounces back, and the Lakers land Russell Westbrook, and a free agency frenzy begins. I'm Rosa Panta. Of course, this is the Clinic All NBA podcast. I have the two hooligans with me. JJ, how you living, my friend?
Hey, special shout out to our boy John here. Happy birthday, my brother.
Of course, John. How you living, man? Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm doing great. It's great to be 23.
This fool. He's definitely 23.
Okay.
He's 23, I'm 22.
All right, 23 plus, 10, 15, something years like that. Whatever. We don't count anymore at this age.
This is true, man. The NBA draft just happened, and the draft results, I feel like, kind of went the way everyone expected. I mean, the Pistons got Cade Cunningham, the Rockets got Jalen Green, Cavaliers with Evan Mobley. I wanted to ask you guys, which of these players are you excited about for next year? And we're considering the roster, we're considering the city, the team that they're on. I'm going to start with the birthday boy, my man, John.
Oh man, that's a good question. I think the easy answer is Cade Cunningham, and I'm gonna go a different route. This might surprise you guys, but I'm gonna say Jonathan Kuminga for the Golden State Warriors.
And
I know,
okay.
And I'm gonna say that because I know that he has the highest ceiling, I think, of anyone in the draft, the most potential. And I know that's kind of not what the Warriors want right now with Steph and Clay in their prime, and probably 1 or 2 years out of being in that prime. So, but if depending on how fast this kid can develop, looking at his highlights, I didn't really know much about him going into the draft, to be honest. But to see what I think he is capable of, he has the highest ceiling of any of these players. So for me, I'm gonna go with Jonathan Kuminga.
Man, JJ, he goes with a Warrior. He goes with Jonathan Kuminga. What do you think of that?
I think that's dope. I mean, it's straight from Conga. I felt that a lot of the fans were kind of worried about that pick, but the Warriors did have another first round pick at number 14, and they picked up Moses Moody, who's known to be more NBA ready. So we'll see in that front. This draft was about who could help Steph right now. And I think not only Warrior fans, but the NBA just wanted to see a strong push for the Warriors to pick up another superstar. And Bradley Beal was in the works, or, was in the trade rumors or whatnot. But we'll see what's up. And, like what John was saying, the easy answer to see for the upcoming rookie and how they would do is Cade Cunningham, but I don't know. Within the past few years, we've seen the first pick be bust, and the Cavs have known to have a lot of bust. Boston had a lot of multiple picks in the first round, and those didn't really pan out, other than, they're two superstars right now. So draft picks could become easily overrated in time.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. And John, you going with Jonathan Kuminga, you actually took the words right out of my mouth, because I mean, like JJ was saying, this guy is only 18 years old. He's from Conga. He didn't really start playing basketball until he was 13. And to think that the Warriors went with such a young prospect is kind of exciting, right? It's about gathering assets. And if Jonathan Kuminga can be that young asset, in 2 or 3 years, who knows what the Warriors can turn that into, whether that be, another championship stint with Steph or something for the future. But I think there's a lot there.
This might be a reach too, but you mentioned that he didn't start playing basketball until he was 13. But there's also another guy who didn't start playing basketball until he was way older, and that guy's name is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Not to get you guys excited,
Man.
but I'm just saying that there's
Getting me hyped.
I'm getting you hyped.
The person I'm gonna go with though, about the person I'm the most excited about, is actually Jalen Green with the Houston Rockets. And I just gotta give a shout out to Jalen Green because, I mean, his mom is half Filipino. That's kind of cool. And like during his interview, he literally said like, it's great to have to be married with Houston and be, part Filipino. That seems like almost like fate that was going to happen, that he landed in Houston. So that's what I'm excited about. What pairing are you guys not excited about? What draft pick do you feel the most sorry for, I guess? JJ, I'm going to go with you.
Ooh, I don't know. I know that some of the picks, for example, I want to say the Thunder with Josh Giddey, people were iffy about. He came from Australia, I believe, and it's always kind of like worrisome when NBA teams do draft international players, and I think Piston fans will have PTSD with Darko.
Yeah.
Because they drafted Darko over Melo, right? And Melo could have been part of that championship squad with Rip, Chauncey, and I don't know, international play, can you gauge how they could play with these superstars in the NBA or even college level, and does it even translate? I guess there is hope because of Luka, right? But Josh Giddey, that would probably be my pick right now, where we'll see what happens. Does his game translate into the NBA?
Yeah, and Giddey was taken right before Jonathan Kuminga, who actually a lot of people thought that was going to be the number 6 pick. John, what about you?
The worst pick, whoever the Knicks drafted. No,
Come on now.
I'm kidding. I'm gonna go with. Honestly, I think the Raptors missed out on Jalen Suggs. Suggs went number 5 to the Magic, and watching him limited time in the tournament for Gonzaga, I think he's a star. And I think that the 4 teams, Cade Cunningham was kind of the consensus number 1. Jalen Green is also up there, top 3, but I think Jalen Suggs should have been in the top 3, to be honest with you, even over Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes. So I think the Magic got the steal at that number. So I'm thinking that for me, the worst pick that the teams didn't make were the Cavs and the Raptors missing out on Suggs at number 3 or 4.
So with Jalen Suggs, and I wanted to ask both of your opinion on this. The reason that he didn't get drafted higher than they expected was he had a bad workout.
Ooh,
and
okay.
I don't know if this would, as you guys were, say you're in HR, we're in business, or we're in our jobs, or even as a scout, can you even really count a workout as something towards your assessment? Because as I mentioned earlier, the reason that Darko went up so high was Joe Dumars saw him for their personal workout, and apparently he blew them out of the water. But with Jalen Suggs, he had a terrible workout. So,
Man.
June 1st, what do you think? Does a workout even matter to you guys, or do you go over film? I know the cop-out answer is, we go over everything, right? We look at everything, but straight up,
everything's compounded, right?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
So my initial reaction is that they shouldn't use a workout to really make the decision for the draft. Rather, they should use it as a confirmation for where that person is being selected, right? Because you should be looking at the full body of work. You should be looking at, game by game what they're doing, because that's where the level of competition brings out the best in you. And I wouldn't say in a workout, there's no competition there. It's just you working out. It's really hard to replicate that, right? What you're seeing in film. So I'm going to give an example here. It's kind of a drastic example. But last year, with LaMelo Ball. I don't know if he purposefully tanked his own stock, but he notoriously had a bad workout. He had a bad workout, so he went to number 3. And he also was having bad interviews. They were saying that like he would have the most awkward interviews, he wouldn't give good answers. So maybe this was like Jalen Suggs' way to try to get onto a better team. I don't know if that's too much like conspiracy theory thoughts, but John, what do you think?
No, I agree for the most part. I don't think a workout is a true. It mirrors what kind of competition you face in a real NBA game or with other people playing against you. I think you're going 75, 85% really, and it's hard to mimic or it's hard to replicate an actual competitive NBA game. So to try to make an assessment saying this is how he's going to perform in an actual NBA game when he's not really practicing in that setting, I don't think it's an accurate assessment. And so again, I wouldn't put too much stock into it. Guys have amazing workouts all the time and they end up being average or even not great. And then you guys have terrible workouts like June said with LaMelo, and he ends up being rookie of the year and crushing expectations. Right. So I don't put much stock into it, but we'll see. I guess it remains to be seen how the season will play out.
Yeah, I mean my vote for probably draft pick and like worst draft pick and team marriage, it has to be the Cavs and Evan Mobley. I feel bad for Evan Mobley because I feel like he's a great prospect. I mean, he's 7 foot, he's mobile, he can stretch the floor, he runs the floor, and it just sucks that he has to go play with the non-inspired Kevin Love. Like that seems like a really crappy thing to run into.
At least he lives in Cleveland.
Ouch.
Damn, man.
That's true,
Shots
man.
fired.
That's just, it's
Hey,
losing all around, man.
I just complimented the city and you guys are taking shots.
It was
at
a sneak diss. That's gotta be a sneak diss.
Come on, man.
But before the draft, we had a blockbuster trade. John's just smiling ear to ear right now. Russell Westbrook gets traded to the Lakers for Kyle Kuzma, KCP, Montrezl Harrell, and the 22 pick. I gotta go with John first, man. What do you think of this trade?
When I first saw the trade, I didn't see any other names other than Kyle Kuzma, and I immediately jumped for joy.
Approval. I approve.
Approve. No, that's slander. Come on. I honestly, Kuzma didn't really work out here, but he was a part of the championship team, so I'll wish him nothing but the best. In terms of the actual trade, I feel like it's either going to be a match made in heaven or an utter and complete disaster. There's no middle ground, and that's how I feel. I think it's going to be one or the other, just so polar opposite. And a lot of it is going to depend on how LeBron and AD adjust to Westbrook and vice versa. I know that there's not a lot of shooting that comes with Westbrook, but there are a lot of other valuable things that come with him as a player, and that's 110% on the court at all times. That is an alpha male, a leader, vocal, who can get in guys' ears. Guys like AD who are a little more timid and can be passive at times, and LeBron, who's, again, he's obviously a leader, he's one of the greatest players of all time, but he's also can be the type of person who wants to be liked. And I think Westbrook is the opposite of both of that. He'll say what's on his mind and he doesn't care who's in his way. And I think one of the biggest benefits that Westbrook will bring to the Lakers is not even what he does on the court specifically. It's more about giving LeBron James rest, because Westbrook is a certified, he's a point guard, and he has his faults, but he is a ball handler that the Lakers have not had. Schroeder I wouldn't count as somebody who can handle the ball consistently and play that point guard role that we need someone to play in order to give LeBron James the rest that he needs at age 36, 37 coming in December. So for me, I think that is underlooked and undervalued, and I think it's going to be a huge benefit in terms of resting and conserving LeBron James's energy for when we need him the most, which is playoff time. But
what percentage are you in, do you think?
am I in on the trade? Well, he's already a Laker, and you guys know, as an avid fan of your team.
Oh, come on, man.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
about
not
to go
gonna.
100?
No, I'm not gonna.
100%?
No, I'm not gonna go 100. I'm not gonna go 100. I'm gonna be real. I'm like 75% in.
70. Okay, that's a decent amount.
Yeah, that's a decent amount.
chunk.
It's like that's a passing grade, but I have my cautious skepticism and just I don't know what's gonna happen. Reservations, right? Looking for the right word. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll leave it at that.
JJ, what do you think of this trade, man?
Be honest.
Well, I don't even know where to start, so I know John's getting super mad at me, but
no,
the one thing that helps it. Just bring it.
I want you to bring all the heat. I want all the heat. I want all the smoke.
No, like to be honest, like the one thing that Russell Westbrook brings that the Lakers don't have is stability, which they don't have in one of their superstars with AD. He brings energy, which they really needed last year during the playoffs. So those are two variables that I feel that you're getting with Westbrook. Now, the part that I felt was kind of weird was that I wanted the Lakers to have a point guard that could be a floor general, that could distribute, play defense, and shoot when needed. Essentially a 3-and-D. Everyone was thinking that Chris Paul would sign with the Lakers, and I thought that would have been a great fit, especially playing with LeBron, and LeBron wouldn't be timid to yell back at him. And you have AD that could demand the ball, play the pick and roll, so on and so forth. Looking at Westbrook's history, KD left. Rumors always said that he didn't get along with Westbrook, right? You have Paul George, who signed, and then he requested a trade. Rumors said that he didn't like playing with Westbrook. He played with Harden, and it wasn't his fault, but even there were rumors there that Harden was getting a little frustrated playing with Westbrook. So, do you really want Westbrook with LeBron and AD, a ball-dominant player that doesn't shoot well, that grabs rebounds from his other teammates?
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
I think those are all valid points, and like one more person I'm gonna add out there is he played with Bradley Beal, and he was the second in scoring, and he couldn't really make it work there either. I think just Westbrook's history has to make you worry. But the thing that confuses me is that the Lakers had a deal, pretty much. It sounded like they had another deal with Buddy Hield, who could stretch the floor. He was a knockdown three-point shooter. I think there's some stats out there that showed that he's like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson level shooter right now. Like the volume plus the percentage, like he would have been a great fit with LeBron James. But instead they bring Russell Westbrook, and that just makes me think that maybe they just weren't quite sold on Buddy Hield, and they needed a surefire star, and they're just hoping the LeBron James effect happens with Westbrook, and they're just not even considering what happened with other teams, right? Because you could blame those situations on Harden. You could blame the situation on KD. You could blame the situation just about on anyone but Westbrook if you wanted to, right? If you wanted to spin it that way. John, what's your counter to all this?
I have to say, I really hate the fact that I agree with a lot of what JJ said, but I do. I agree with a lot of it. I think he makes valid points, and those are my concerns too. I think the Lakers knew that Westbrook isn't the perfect fit on paper, but they had an opportunity to get a third star, which Westbrook is. Mm-hmm. And I think they jumped at the opportunity and are betting on the chance that they will work it out and that the fit will somehow work. That guys, and the reality is, guys, somebody's going to have to sacrifice. Maybe all three of them. AD is probably the least who would have to sacrifice, but their games are going to have to change a bit. And maybe they looked at the Brooklyn Nets and everybody who was doubting them, right? Harden, ball dominant. Kyrie, ball dominant. Durant is probably the guy who is the biggest team player. And they made it work. The only reason they didn't make the finals, they probably would have won it all, if we're being honest, if Kyrie didn't get hurt and Harden wasn't 100%, or was 100%, excuse me.
Yeah, that's
so
facts.
that's
Great
facts,
point.
right?
Great points,
And-
dude.
And so, yeah, thank you. That's the first compliment JJ's ever given me.
I mean, it is your birthday.
Yeah, it is my
I mean,
birthday, right?
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, man.
Well, but late. I mean, it's one day late, but yeah, maybe it's my lucky day, my birthday. But no, I appreciate that. I think that's so. Again, I think the Lakers know, like the rest of us, that he's not a great fit on paper, but they're just pulling the trigger because three superstars on one team is hard to come by, and just try to figure it out. And LeBron's not getting any older, so I think they're going all in, and they're taking the risks and the concerns with them, and trying to figure it out.
And
Well,
how cool is that going to be if it's, Lakers versus Nets, which we wanted this year,
Yeah.
but now you have Westbrook, and who doesn't, he's had his beef or whatever you want to call it with KD and
Yeah.
LeBron, Kyrie. There's the superstar trios is back.
Yeah, that would be a show-stopping finals. I'll
It would be
leave it.
fun, man.
That would be wild. Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I know I'm a big conspiracy theorist guy. Like sometimes I look way too deep on things. I will say this: I honestly think low key that Westbrook isn't even really the move. I think they wanted the money. I think they wanted his salary, and I think they wanted his superstar status so that they can move him. I'm gonna just say it here. I think there's a bigger trade that's going to happen later in the year. And let's say a Damian Lillard gets unhappy. Do you know whose money matches Damian Lillard? Russell Westbrook. So if he tries to force a trade, if something happens like that, they have the money to do it. They have the flexibility, the cap flexibility to do it. I think that's a really sneaky thing that not a lot of people are talking about, but that's something I'm gonna look out for because I don't think Westbrook is it, man. I don't think it's it.
Man, the Lakers out here playing checkers, and Rowe is playing 4D chess.
I hope
That's
the
what I
trade is
think,
for
man.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons? That'd be crazy.
Yeah, so we can shoot 6% from the field. Nah.
So there's a lot of other off-season moves that have been happening. Have you guys reviewed a lot of these moves? Is there a team that you're looking at right now where you're like, man, this team got a whole lot more interesting in the off-season? At least, day one of the off-season.
I'll say that Chris Paul resigning for 120 million is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Because they have so many contracts that are coming up, and you're signing someone that could be playing close to their 40s, who's had injury history, that's taking up that much cap, with an owner who's known not to spend. So
Right.
they're going to be heading to the luxury tax, and it's going to well, you're kind of all in now, which is good, right?
Yeah.
But is Chris Paul worth 120 million, John?
It's hard to say. I personally don't think so, because the Suns were very fortunate to make it to the finals this year, and that's not to downplay what they did. They're not responsible for the injuries that happened, but it's naive to say, right? It would be incomplete for anybody to say that they made the finals without really facing the stiffest competition, because they faced the Lakers without AD, they faced the Nuggets without Jamal Murray, and they faced the Clippers without Kawhi for the most part. So I don't think so. I think he's at the tail end of his career. I think he showed signs of slowing down this year. If you really paid attention to the Suns games, he wasn't consistent like I think we've seen Chris Paul to be for the most part in his prime. So I don't think it's a good deal. I think they could have had him for a lot cheaper, and I think they should have tried to get him for way less years.
Yeah, right now, what I'm looking at is the Miami Heat. Miami Heat, Kyle Lowry gets dealt to the Miami Heat. They sign PJ Tucker. They extend Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson. That sounds like a nasty group that they're developing over there in Miami. And I don't know I don't know if that quite competes with the Brooklyn Nets. We'll see what the Nets have at the end of free agency, because I think the Nets are really, I think they're kind of screwed on salary, right? I think they only really have like a mid-level exception at like 5.9 mil, and then a bunch of like vet minimums that they could do, but that's really all the moves that they have left. But the Heat are looking rather deep, so I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, I like the Heat. That's a good call. They made some nice moves so far.
And I'm trying to see what other moves that were kind of interesting. I mean, for the Suns, I mean, I can't believe they signed Cam Payne for only 19 mil on 3 years.
Yeah, he needs to fire his agent, dude.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, Cam Payne was an important part last year for the Suns. How is he only going to get 19 mil for 3 years? That's like robbery, dude.
Yeah, and this is a market where guys are getting overpaid. So I don't. Yeah, I mean, Cam Payne must just be a really nice guy, or his agent is just not doing his job, like JJ said.
Dude, bro, Zach Collins got paid, and this fool. If Zach Collins could get paid, come on.
Zach Collins went to the Spurs. I think he got like 30 something for 3 years. Like, that's crazy, dude. That's some crazy money. Anyway, we'll move on from free agency. We're going to talk about Team USA. Team USA is back, guys. That's what they're saying. They defeated Iran. They defeated the Czech Republic. Their next game is against Spain. Against Ricky Rubio, the Casal brothers, Rudy Fernandez, Victor Claver, and company. We have to win this. Do you guys think we're going to beat Spain tomorrow?
I'm going to start off by saying I didn't know that beating Iran and the Czech Republic means that we're back.
That's what the media says, man.
The media,
they said that we're primed to win. Dude.
Primed to win. I feel like those are two teams that you should beat.
Yeah.
Even with starting your bench players. I don't know. I
True.
mean, I'm still not convinced. I'll believe it when I see it. Spain, obviously, Spain is going to be a challenge, so we'll see what happens tonight. I think it's starting in like 30, 45 minutes. And I don't know. I'm still not convinced. I don't know if the team that they have is strong enough. I mean, look at Slovenia. Luka Doncic and that team they're just winning game after game after game. Imagine if that team ends up playing Team USA and knocks them out. That would be wild, man. Just cementing Luka Doncic as not only like one of the best NBA players, but again, just one of the best players in the world.
Yeah. I mean, Luka and Slovenia, I think they're undefeated right now.
Yep.
Which is pretty impressive, man. JJ, you think we're beating Spain?
I always think that Team USA, they have to win. Do I think they're going to win? I don't know, man. They surprised me with those losses, which is pretty ridiculous. Like Ricky Rubio, he's not an all-star. The Gasol brothers, they're like 55. Rudy Fernandez, I haven't even heard of this fool playing within the last 5 years in the NBA.
Yeah.
And then Victor Claver, like, that dude, was he in the G League or something? Did he play for AAU?
He was something. So JJ, if you had your favorite kicks on the line, betting on the line of Team USA winning it all, would you make that bet? Or would you say, nah, these are my favorite kicks?
Nah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't put my Jordan 4s on the line.
No, absolutely not.
I wouldn't even put your Skechers on the line.
Yeah, we're like Drake, just trust issues, like straight up trust issues, man.
My Skechers are Rose K-Swiss, 1994.
I ain't even betting that, man.
Gotta get those shape ups, bro. That
once you
Joe
guys
Montana.
lost, once they lost to Nigeria, nope, no bets for Team USA for me, man. I'm cheering for them, but no bets for me. We're gonna end on kind of a fun note. There's a New York City baller who, let's just show the video. RJ, we got this video over here. If you could run this video for me. This man, New York City baller, he's over here, leans over, he smokes out of a hookah. And he runs onto the court. He gets a steal. And he dribbles it down the court and gets it for a fly lefty layup. The crowd is just going wild, laughing. I just want to know, was this a dub or a dud for you, JJ?
Oh, dude, for sure a dub. And
Yeah.
this podcast, The Clinic, we don't promote smoking hookah, but that was super sick. He took a rip.
Absolutely. Yep.
Took a rip, stole the ball, and then laid it up. And just check out this dude's frame. Like, you know, when we play street ball, there was this one cat by the name of Mighty Mouse. Short, heavier set, but super quick. Look at that, Mighty Mouse.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and the nickname. The nickname is HOOKAH Doncic right now. John, what you think of this? Dub or dud?
100% dub. I feel like Team USA should sign HOOKAH Doncic to go to counter if we ever play Slovenia against Luka Doncic. Can you imagine? No, it's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, to smoke tobacco, to fill your lungs with smoke, and then just go out and not only get a steal like JJ said, but go ahead and just make a lefty lefty too. Come on, man, that's impressive. I gotta give him a dub.
I'm gonna give him a dub too. I mean, this is like the adult version of Space Jam, where the secret stuff is from a hookah.
Yeah.
It gave him superpowers for a moment. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And you know, that's actually it for our pod tonight. JJ, thank you for being on, my friend.
Hey, thank you, and happy birthday again to our brother right here, John. We love you.
Yeah, the birthday boy, John. Thank you for being on.
Hey, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
And of course, shout out to RJ, our video producer. And I'm Rosa Panta. This is the Clinic All NBA podcast. Get us wherever you find your podcasts.